Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timothy Lee, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We welcome Jorge Ramiro Monroy, CEO, and Peter Megaw, Chief Technical Advisor of Reyna Silver. They will speak to us about the company's exciting exploration projects in Mexico and the United States. Jorge and Peter, you have 10 minutes, and then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A at the end of the session. Attendees, please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A link below. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, Tim. Great to see you, and great to see you as well, Peter. Our company name is Reyna Silver. We trade on the TSXV under RSLV and on the OTCQX under RSNBF. I will be making forward-looking statements. So please do your own research as you consider investing in our company. And for those of you who are new to our company, the genesis of our company was 2 projects that came from Mag Silver. In fact, 2 projects that Peter Megaw and his partners put together in preparation to Mag Silver's original IPO in 2003. And we did a deal with Mag. As part of that deal, Peter Megaw, who's one of the co-founders of Mag Silver, was allowed to act as our chief technical advisor, and Mag Silver remains our shareholder. We have strong institutional support with about 40% of our shares in the hands of institutions, and management owns about 17% of the company. As of the end of last quarter, we had 14 million Canadian in the bank. We have a portfolio of assets. Guigui and Batopilas are the 2 assets that I mentioned before that came from Mag Silver. Guigui was actually Peter Megaw's doctoral thesis, and it's a project that we have been drilling this year. We've completed the initial 12,000 meter stage 1 of exploration, and we're just about to do a press release, just waiting for some final assays. We've been a little bit delayed, but we're almost there. So within we do expect to be in a position to release stage 1 of exploration here shortly. And then at Batopilas, which is the second project we've been drilling, we did a press release with our first 1,000 meters of exploration a few weeks ago, and we've continued drilling there. We've now, by the end of the month, we'll have completed about 4,000 meters of drilling out of a total of 10,000 that are planned for stage 1 exploration. The general concept of the company is looking for high-grade silver and district scale, very much in line with the philosophy of exploration that Peter has applied at Mag Silver and other companies. We do have 2 other projects, one in Nevada called Medicine Springs and another one called La Reyna, also in Mexico, that we are doing early stage exploration and getting drill targets ready. But really the main focus of the company is in Guigui and Batopilas. We have 100 million shares outstanding, and you can see here some of our institutional shareholders. And we do have coverage from Red Cloud by Tim, who was just introducing us. So if anybody's interested in reading that, please do reach out to him. Very brief introduction on our technical advisory board. For those of you who are not familiar with Peter, he's one of the co-founders of Mag Silver. He has made multiple discoveries. Obviously, the most significant, the Juanicipio and Valdecañas veins for Mag Silver, about to go into production, will be one of the most, the highest grade silver mine and one of the most profitable mining projects in the world. Peter is also a 2 times recipient of the PDAC Thayer Lindsay Award. And we also have Doug Kerwin as one of our technical advisors. Doug, one of the former VP of exploration at Ivanhoe, and played a key role in the discovery of part of Oyu Tolgoi in Mongolia. So with that, I will pass it to Peter to walk you through our 2 projects and the progress that we've made there. Thank you, Peter.
Well, thank you, Jorge, and thank you for that only slightly exaggerated review of my CV. I've only received the Thayer Lindsley Award once. At Guigui, our project is just outside the city of Chihuahua. The Santa Eulalia mining district where Guigui is the reason the city of Chihuahua exists. The district has produced over 500 million ounces of silver in almost 300 years of continuous operation. So 50 million tons of ore, 10 ounces silver, about 15% combined lead and zinc. Based on detailed geologic study of a number of features of the district, everything tells us based on our model that about half of the district is missing. And so that's what we're looking for. That yellow area shows the ground that we have, and that brown circle or tan circle shows the area where we're focusing our exploration. As Jorge mentioned, we're just wrapping up phase 1 drilling, 14 holes, about 12,000 meters of drilling. Next, please, Jorge. So this is the CRD Exploration Model that's driving our exploration, and also drove exploration at places like Arizona mining, where the Taylor Manto was found. It's the same model that led to the discovery of Resolution Copper. It led to our discovery of Cinco de Mayo in Chihuahua as well. So this model was largely based in part on the Santa Eulalia district when I was working there. And when we look at this, we recognize that there's a continuum from an intrusive source for the system through a skarn zone outward to the chimney and mantos, which is the style of mineralization that was historically produced at Santa Eulalia. So what we're looking for is that intrusive source and the kind of high grade, high volume mineralization that should be associated with that source. And so we're picking up basically on the work that MAG did, which was extensive in every sense except for drilling. Next, please, Jorge. So this is another view of the Santa Eulalia district, more direct perhaps than the model that I just showed, which is generalized. On the left side there, that's the West Camp. That's the historic chimney and manto part of the district. That hatched pink unit is the felsic intrusion with which mineralization is related in time and space. And conceptually, what we're looking for is a larger body of that, the source essentially of those thin dikes and sills that are associated with the historic mining area, looking for large scale skarn associated with that. The dashed red line shows the approximate limit of our property, and the yellow or orange unit on top, those are pre-mineral volcanic rocks. So the target we're looking for, we're having to look through altered volcanic rocks and little leakages that have come up along structures from this underlying target. Target's about 1.5 kilometers in diameter, and we're looking at an area roughly 3 by 4 kilometers. Next, please, Jorge. So this is just an example of some of the sophisticated geophysics that was done by MAG that was never followed up by drilling. So we're getting to do that. The obvious linear features in the geophysics correspond to the same kind of structural directions that control mineralization in the historic part of the district. But again, these are covered by pre-mineral volcanic rocks, and we're having to look through those and trying to find where the center of this system is using this geophysics, surface mapping, satellite imagery, everything we can throw at it to get ourselves targeted. Next. Map on the right shows where we've been drilling. A lot of the holes have been close to the property line, but they're scattered over a fairly large area, as I mentioned before, and we have additional holes that we can drill. The whole idea of this first round of drilling was to see if we could get an indication of where that source is based on either finding it or finding mineralization or high temperature alteration associated with it. Something that would allow us to vector into the source and then follow up with phase 2 drilling around it to see if we can develop a resource. Next, please. So that's where Guigui is, and we expect to have numbers in the not terribly distant future, so keep your eyes open. In the meantime, we continue to drill at the Batopilas district, and actually we're still drilling at Guigui. We've sort of started stage 2 drilling out there. At Batopilas, we're still drilling. This is located in southwestern Chihuahua. This was Mexico's highest grade ever silver district and one of the highest grade silver districts ever found on the planet. produced about 300 million ounces of silver at a grade in excess of 1,500 grams. Some of the ore ran 75% silver. The ore bodies are essentially crystallized native silver encased in calcite. So what we're trying to do is find additional examples of these historic veins. They go from narrow calcite veinlets about 1 centimeter wide that open up to as much as 2.5 meters wide. And that will be filled with this crystallized native silver. Ore bodies are anywhere from 30 to about 80 meters on level, 0.5 meter to 2.5 meters wide, and 350 meters down plunge. So, and they go from 1 centimeter to 2 meters wide over a lateral distance of about 10 meters. Next, please. So that just gives you a little of the parameters. This shows you the kind of production that they had from this district. More than 30 known veins. It was a situation where mining was going on right up into the Mexican Revolution, and Pancho Villa's soldiers came up, smashed the hydroelectric plant, and the district was put out of business at that point. Had nothing to do with running out of mineralization. It's a very unusual district geologically with this native silver ore, and based on what we can tell, we don't see vertical zoning throughout the over 700 meters of vertical distance that these ore bodies have been mined. Historically, very few other metals were present in the district, but now we've started to find gold, and that was one of the things that we discovered in our trenching program last year. Next, please. So this shows our property position in the district, a number of the historic veins, and what we did in 2020 was essentially project a number of these veins to the northeast, into areas that had not been explored. We did trenching. We found some very high-grade native silver in a couple of the trenches, and we began to find gold up in the extreme northeastern part of the district. So this is a whole new zone for us. Next, please. We began a 10,000-meter drilling program. The dots there show the holes that we've been drilling. We drilled underneath some of those high-grade silver and gold veins. One of those ran 42 kilos silver, another one 21 grams gold. Those are nice places to start drilling. And so we put out a press release last month on the first 6 holes. Next, please. This shows you what some of the high grade looks like. This is crystallized native silver in the core. It ran, and I can't really read the numbers, but it ran multiple kilograms of silver over 1 meter and 3 meters. It ran 3 grams of gold and 700 grams silver, including a very high grade silver zone and also a very high grade gold zone, which we'd never seen before. And then farther to the northeast, we drilled hole 34, where we got a 1.5 meter intercept grading almost 5 grams gold, including a 1/4 meter running 28 grams, almost 29 grams gold. We've never seen this gold before, but when you look at the geographic distribution, you go from the heart of the district, or at least what people think is the heart of the district, with high-grade silver exclusively, through a zone of high-grade silver gold to a zone of high-grade gold. We're starting to think we may be looking at district scale zoning on a scale that we haven't thought of before. So this is very intriguing and potentially could be very important just in terms of the magnitude of the district. And even though we're focused on silver, we're not going to kick 5 grams of gold out of bed for eating crackers. Next, please. Just some highlights of the original hole. You can see that hole 30 was clearly the best with an average of 700 grams silver, but high grade zone of over 10 kilograms. That was the native silver zone. Remember, those native silver zones go from being very narrow, barren calcite veinlets to over 1.5 meters to 2 meters wide over a very short lateral distance. So when you hit something like this in this drill spacing, we're talking 250 to 500 meters, there's plenty of room to come back and follow up on that result. And that would be the kind of thing we would be at the top of the list for phase 2 drilling out here at Batopilas. Next. So the catalysts for the company, Guigui, our 12,000 program is completed. Assays results are pending. We should have a press release out on that soon. We put out the first few holes at Batopilas, not because we necessarily were wanting to do that, but when you find something like native silver in the core and everybody can tell how good it is, you have to get those numbers out for disclosure reasons. Obviously, that's a Hollywood problem. We're happy to have done that, but there will be more information coming out on Batopilas over time. We've probably got another 2,500 meters worth of drill results pending right now. The Medicine Springs project in Nevada, it's a carbonate replacement, so it's very similar to Guigui. The district is laced with metalliferous jasperoid, which we believe are typical alteration style relative to the carbonate replacement mineralization. We got about a 750 sample program on that that's been done systematically district-wide. Numbers on that are coming in. We expect that that'll show us a good area, several good areas to focus our drilling, which we would hope to do starting in 2022. And with that, since I'm seeing that Tim is there, I'm assuming we're just about out of time and it's time to answer your questions. So I thank you for your attention.
Great. Well, thank you, Jorge and Peter, for the excellent presentation. We're just about out of time, and I think there's a good slide to kind of finish on, but looking at forward catalysts. When might you expect to have initial assays out for Guigui?
Very, very soon. We're really just waiting for the last little bit. It's been a bit frustrating waiting for the labs, but really we're almost there. And I can't promise an exact timing, but it's really very, very soon. I already in the process of putting all the information together to do the press release, and we're almost there. So do appreciate everybody's patience, and we're almost there.
Yeah, and just reemphasize the fact that this is the kind of program where it's wide space drilling. You're hoping to nail down or corner the beast in your first phase of drilling. So it's important to understand the context of the results. And given how widely spaced the holes are and everything, only a few holes coming in well could be considered a very successful program, depending on where they are.
Great. All right. Thank you again, Jorge and Peter. That wraps up today's session. Join us again tomorrow morning when we resume our Oktoberfest conference with Lotus Resources at 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Thank you very much.